So I got to talk about these mouse droids. I've talked about them before, okay? Because I don't know if you guys know this, but like you got to like radio controlled cars in 1977 were these really weird things you could buy. They were, and that's literally what that first mouse droid was. They just took the top off and put that sort of, toaster looking thing on top of it and made it into one of the droids. They drove forward, and if you wanted to turn left, you had to drive backwards. Right? So they didn't turn right. They only turned left, but they only turned when they went backwards. So if you go back and watch A New Hope, notice that the droid goes forward, and then when it turns, it goes back and turns left and then goes forward, right? So, I mean, the ones in this show, obviously, these are the 2023 versions and blah, 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 blah. And they're probably not even, like, they're probably all CGI, but it's just, I just found it was like, how when there's always a thing that's like the hot toy or the hot thing for that year. That's why the mouse droid is in A New Hope. Not because they needed a little droid, just because that was what the technology was at the time, right?
Yeah.
Low tech, lo-fi.
Anyway. And yet they've endured for 40 years.
I know. Well, and today they had the pestering R5, and then, I mean, yeah, like R5 did exactly what I would have done. Let's rock it out of here, right?
Well, it's funny because he runs afoul of the first one, and the first one sort of is, pewing at him and making little mousy noises, and then it comes back with a bunch of them with little like flashing lights on them, like they're the
sirens,
the police. And at one point he like is getting ready to leave, and he pushes one off the edge, which is pretty funny. They might be the most purposeless, pointless things in all of Star Trek. They never really explain like what it is they're doing or what like.
Well, and this is the first time I've ever seen them with little cop lights on the top too, right?
Yeah. That's a feature that Moff Gideon needed while he was using the men's room at the back of his antechamber.
Well, maybe he was remote control driving them to get R5 away from. Okay, and I mean, we talked about Picard's password in the past, right?
Yeah.
Like those ports that the R2D2
put a lock on those things.
Put a cover on it, like lock those things down. Like just if you want to take over the Empire, just go plug a robot into it. Open the pod bay doors, Hal.
Yeah, you're right. That is one of the largest plot loopholes that they exploit in every Star Trek series or Star Wars series, where you're like, really, all you needed to bring was, and again, even we look at Bad Batch,
put some gum in there or something, like
in Bad Batch, they've got Echo. They don't even need to bring a droid with them. Echo just jams his arm in there.
Yeah, exactly. And apparently understands binary, so he can whip through this thing. It's a really cool interface when you think about the twisty dial things, but
it looks good, but I have some questions.